Hey guys, it's Matt. First, want to thank Kaan for filming this as he walked the streets of his city in Turkey called Izmir, which is on the western side of the country, the far western side. If you're driving or just listening, it's nice to see the video that Kaan filmed here, but it's people just walking around the streets with masks. You'll be able to understand exactly what's going on. And I'm going to turn this video, if I can, into a one world system discussion as soon as I can. But you don't have to see this if you're driving or just listening. You'll get the gist of what is going on here as Kaan walks the streets with, of course, 100%, almost 100% mask. And he filmed this recently. So let me shut up and I'll come in a little bit later. Thanks, Kaan.
It's almost like they're in a state of hypnosis. I mean, if you're looking for a reality breakdown, look no further, bro. Yep, here's your reality breakdown right here. Everybody's messed up. Everybody. Okay, look no further, man. It's like, just think about the psychological effect that could have on someone. I mean, for a year and a half now, everyone is messed up, and their excuses, oh, we get fined up, right? No, I got fined like 58 times, but I'm still not wearing that shit, and I'm not gonna put that on my face. It's submission. It's nothing else but submission. See, this is the downtown area, and when they sit down to eat, they pull their masks down, and if they want to get into somewhere, they put their masks up, and when they sit down, they pull it down.
Okay, guys, in preparation for this video, I watched this a few times, and just to say one thing to Kaan almost implies during this video that like there's something unique going on with Turkey or Izmir, and I agree that it is much worse now than the United States and other countries, but actually far better than certain places like Australia and London or places in the EU that still have curfews, which is my understanding. So Kaan, understand that what you're showing here, like Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, every major blue state city was the exact same thing from roughly the middle of April of 2020 through, say, to June 1st. Now, it is changing now because of the effort to get hundreds of millions of people to rent the movie, the Action Jacksonation movie. When you have hundreds of millions of people who went out to rent the movie, then, you know, the system has to give something back. Of course, the masks are dropping in the United States because of the V. But Kaan, I mean, this is, you know, and it's not just the West. People report to me they tell me what's going on in Singapore, in Seoul, in Thailand, every major city around the world with a few exceptions, which are part of the control elements of this gigantic one world AI, you know, sentient world simulation experiment, with the exception of controls like Sweden. The whole world's been in this situation. Although, of course, I'll talk. Let's just watch more of Kaan's video. I want to talk later about how obvious a one world system is and how I don't understand how even channels I really like seem to talk about countries as if they're completely on their own, which I just don't understand. The one world system is proven 100 times over just by this, and we have 100 other examples, even if we didn't have this, that shows there's a one world system with a small council making decisions basically for everybody in the world. No flags, no borders, no countries. To me, that's a joke. Yeah, they decide little things, but in terms of the big stuff like this, oh no, they'll get their marching orders from the Illuminati window just like everybody else in this world.
I mean, and they don't even ask why. Look, bro. Shields, mask, everything. This area here, this is downtown. And as you can see, even in the cars, They're riding alone by themselves. There's no way to explain this shit. When they put it down, they eat, and they think the wires don't affect them. Look, young, old, everyone, even children.
Now, again, I think Kaan filmed this recently in Izmir, but it's actually a world better than what people are reporting to me from certain parts of Australia. Australia takes the cake in terms of the reality breakdown, if you ask me. Certain Western Australia or certain parts of Australia bigger than Texas will get a few cases. I didn't say 10,000 deaths. Cases, a few, like 2 cases. And they'll go into some sort of lockdown for an area the size of Texas or larger because of a few reported cases. And somehow 99% or whatever of the population goes along with it. Here, this is bad. Izmir, regarding the mask, of course, it's horrible. But people are out and about. It's like there are places that are worse. Guys, let me just continue this. I'm going to talk to the segment of the truth community that believes countries are real. I don't understand that.
Even little kids, man. 2-year-old, 3-year-old, everyone's like that.
Okay, right now in Philadelphia, similar to what was just shown, because of everybody renting the movie in the V, the people going into the stores, I guess, my metric has been Wawa. Wawa's been higher mask than most other stores that I've been in. So even like 60% now for Wawa, no, that's the little convenience store, no mask for the patrons. But when you go into these stores, all the workers are still wearing them. All your waiters and waitresses are still wearing them. And they've all rented the movie. They've all been V'd. Matt, shut up and let Kaan talk. We hear from you enough, Matt. Okay, I'll shut up. Shut up, Matt.
Yep. Inside, outside, everywhere. They get tired, they put it down sometimes. But overall, see, look. It's almost become like you know how you get in the car and don't put your seatbelt up, you feel that emptiness? That's what's happening to them. And I think they kind of like it too. They've grown to like it. It's crazy. They stopped questioning after a while. Well, they never questioned in the first place. Even riding around in the car. All by themselves, look. All messed up. Everyone, man. Everyone. And I don't know what else to say. I've made like hundreds of videos about this. And it's worse here in downtown. But as you go out in like to the ghetto, they comply less. They don't care because they have to make a living. So you got some exceptions here, some rebels like me. I got fined like 58 times about this, right? And I'm not gonna pay him. I'm not gonna wear that shit either. But look, please show this on your channel. Please let people know what we're going through here. It's absolute madness, Matt. Please, bro. You cut this part out, but
no way, Kaan. I'm not going to cut that part out. You're a cool dude. This is the best part. But thank you, Kaan. Let's go back here. Guys, yeah, check. I wanted to talk about, if I can find the right part here. Yeah, right here. He walks by these 3. This is just human behavioral anomalies that have come out from us going through this thing, where you go, are they even human? You know, let me just show you, and then I'll tell you what I wanted to talk about here as he passes these 3 talking.
Everyone is messed up, and their excuses, oh, we get fined up, right?
Okay.
Everybody's messed up.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Let me get back to this part. Come
effect
on.
that could have on
Here he comes.
everyone is mad.
Okay. Now, these three people are talking with their masks on. See, this is one of the main pet peeves I've had in what we had to go through here in Philadelphia, which again I don't think is much different until recently than what Kaan's talking about in Izmir and other places around the world. But why would three people choose to talk with their masks on at 2 or 3 feet away? And again, assuming each person here, of course, believes everything the news is telling them, that the paper's telling them, why wouldn't they just choose to back up 3 or 4 more feet and take their mask down and talk to someone and be able to see the face and the smiles? And this is an inhuman quality that has seemed to go along with the compliance of this thing. And it's not, again, Kaan, I see this all the time. Why not, if it were me standing there where that guy is, I would just back up. And why would you just say, well, why are we have masks on? Let's just, if you're uncomfortable, let's just create some separation, but I want to see you, but this is what we observe. It's totally bizarre. And
See, this is the downtown area, and
in terms of the one world system conversation, just wanted to, again, I do this every so often, reach out to others in this community that make videos. I just don't understand anybody that would make a video with the assumption, at least for the big things that happen in the world, that the country is completely independent, that the flag, the border, the country, they're not beholden to anyone. They're sending their representatives to Davos and to the G7 and to the Build a Burger group, or Build a Better Burger group, or whatever. Guys, one point about that. That's not the council that runs everything, in my opinion. Do I know? I haven't been to Eyes Wide Shut parties. But see, when Alex Jones can send his camera crew out there to film people going in and out of Build a Better Burger, or Davos, Switzerland, or the Bohemian Grove, or any place there's cameras, that ain't it. We know that by now. How many people run this world? I don't know. But it's a council meeting you ain't never going to hear about. There's not going to be no Alex Jones film crew standing outside. When I used to watch Alex Jones years ago, I remember there was one, it was that general that was in a compromising position in Iraq. Remember, he was with his young assistant, whatever please don't even bother commenting whatever his name was. I'm talking about one of the main generals for the Iraqi occupation. The Alex Jones film, he's jogging around wherever they were. It was like Bilderberger, but it was like Davos, Switzerland or something. He's jogging around the streets. The Alex Jones film crew's running after him as he's jogging. Come on. The real group that rules the world is not going to. They're not going to announce to film crews where they're setting up. Let me just show this. I'll just talk over it and turn the volume down. They're not. I don't know if is it 50 people? Is it 50 families? I don't know. We don't know. We're never going to know. I don't want to know. We can. It's so obvious, though. The point is, how do you make a YouTube video talking about a certain country? Even Russia, as it's on its own. It's not beholden to the one world system. It's so obvious now that everything is beholden to the one world system. Even if we didn't have the C thing, you could talk about 100 other examples. Why was China chosen to build absolutely everything for everybody, every major manufacturer, almost everything you flip over? I know there are exceptions. I hear you crying out from your bathtub. I know there are exceptions, obviously, but it's 95% China. Why would every major corporation pick China? There's no other low-cost labor anywhere in the world. There's no other low-cost labor, if countries were real, that could woo a factory. No place in Africa that would be dying to have Cisco System come in, or whoever. Well, Matt, not anybody can make those chips. Africa and China's set up for that. Fine, if China is set themselves up for the electronics, the clean rooms, there are a lot of other things that are manufactured. The last time I flipped over my ceramic cat, it said made in China. My ceramic cat. Bootsy's scared of the damn thing, runs the other direction. Why isn't there aren't other countries with low-cost labor that would be soliciting for those bids? No, China was chosen part of the one world plan. All this thing about China becoming this, China becoming that Nixon reaching out to China or what, I don't know what the story was. Nixon opens up China or whatever about that time. I don't know whether it was 10 years or 15 years after Mao. It was basically a country of bicycles, and they got two suits, two things they could wear. One's gray, one's blue. And they didn't copy the U.S. Civil War. They just had all blue, like a potato sack, and they had all gray. And in about, I don't know, like 50 years, they went to the leading high-tech skyscrapers. That's impossible for a country that's all bicycles and wearing gray and blue potato sacks. That's all they had to become what they've become if it wasn't in the cards, if it wasn't chosen, if it wasn't one world system selecting China. So, China by itself gives away a one world system. And how many other examples do we have? But nothing takes the cake like this. The level of compliance, and it's actually, it goes way beyond a one world system conversation because it gets into the human being download conversation. Even in a one world system, if things were real, if all you had to work with in figuring out reality is what's in your toy box. They told you, we used to have a toy box as a kid. You'd throw every piece of shit in there. I had a wooden tractor, believe it or not, it was passed down from my uncle. I had the Stretch Armstrong. You stretch that mother effer out to try to rip his arms off, but he was so damn tough you couldn't do it. As a 7-year-old, little puppets. I had a Charlie McCarthy puppet. You want to talk about creepy. Things scare the shit out of you. It make the clown from Poltergeist that hid under the bed seem friendly. I had G.I. Joe dolls, everything in this. I had stuffed animals, everything in this toy box. They want you in the toy box to understand known reality. Say, oh, you truthers, go figure it out. Just show you this. Matt, don't freeze the video, just play it. All right. You can figure it out as long as you're in your toy box of known reality. We don't want you to get outside talking about things like how could the compliance in all major cities. People report to me about Thailand, Singapore. It's all the same way. When the V comes, when hundreds of millions of people locally rent the movie, then the masks will have to come down. It's just, why did everybody go do it then? Of course, they'll have to give that back to these zombies to a degree. But you couldn't put the world, even if it is a complete one world system, with one guy on a throne somewhere, one girl on a throne somewhere. It's the queen from what is it? Winter's War, and the Golden Queen and the Silver Queen. What is that called? Huntsman. Yeah, if it's the Silver Queen and the Gold Queen from Huntsman, Winter's War. There's one or two people that rule everything. You still couldn't implement this level of compliance as quickly as you did without reality buttons and levers and downloads and things we don't understand. It's just not possible. It's not possible. Everybody started going along with it just from a few news stories. Yeah, everybody heard about one case of somebody's uncle's sister's brother's cousin's aunt, great aunt's nephew got real sick, and then oh boy, they heard about it's a Goldilocks reality, not for us, on how it operates with the masses. And then within a matter of weeks, every major city in the world started to look the exact same way in terms of compliance. So in terms of talking to the truth channels that are talking about countries making their own decisions, it's ridiculous to even argue that. It's beyond a one world system because it's a download system. It's a method of compliance for the masses the whole earth over with reality buttons and levers and ways of doing things we don't understand. Call it magic, call it 5G, call it a combination of both. So it's beyond a one world system. In other words, if you're talking about a one world system, but you're still looking in your toy box of known reality to figure things out, I still think you're behind. You're not where you should be. And half of the truth community or more is not even at the one world system. They think countries like China are making their own decisions. I don't understand this. So if you're spending time talking about a one world system, they're fine with that because you're still far from the truth in terms of the technology, the mind control, the magic that's going on that could get a world to look like this, with a few exceptions, a few controls in the experiment, in the AI sentient one world simulation, like Sweden. Sweden, Matt, don't you know Sweden is its own country because they just didn't do this. They decided to not go along. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, a poster child for the EU decided to do their own thing. Yeah, no, that wasn't an obvious control. And a sentient world simulation, the Whopper, you see War Games? The Whopper, the Whopper needs controls to understand human behavior, NPC behavior, organic portal behavior. It needs controls. So, you know, Tanzania and the film crews that have gone in there, I don't think is a control. Because the guy interviewed, he's like, yeah, not many people here are wearing masks in Tanzania. And we're just going about our business because we have to, for survival. You know, we can't just take a day off. Grandma upstairs starves if I take a day off in Tanzania. And then isn't it incredible, though, as they went about their business, they didn't have any cases. Then nothing happened. But it's such a discriminating V. It's such a elitist V, discriminating. It's a V that says, I don't want to go into this country. We'll leave it alone. You want to leave that country with one V talking to the other V as particles that could just camp on the suitcases and shit? You're going to leave that country? Oh, we'll leave them alone. We've been there. Oh, Vietnam? Yeah, leave it alone. And then through 9 or 10 months, let's just have nothing happening. No, Hong Kong? Through 8 months, leave it alone. It's such a discriminating V. Decides as almost with a sentience where it wants to go around the world. And certain countries, it said, you know what, if we could get a hidden mic on that V in their Bilderberger, the V's themselves get together and have little meetings in Bilderbergers in Davos, and they said probably around May of 2020, they said, we're going to go into 2 places hard and get them. The V's said, we're going to get Italy. Italy? No, Italy. And we're going to get New York City. Let's get them. So they just went and like little creatures in a Pixar movie jumped onto suitcases, and people, they knew, because it's a sentient V, it knew where those suitcases were going. And they just camped on. If you ever had night vision goggles that could see the V, there were millions of them camping onto the suitcases, heading to Italy and New York, and we're going to get them. But shouldn't some of us go to Hong Kong? No. They got protection in the noodles. Leave those bastards alone. Anyway, guys, get a little stupid. Let's just quote Seal on the way out. Seal, who somehow dated Heidi Klum in her prime. If we're ever going to survive, we're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. Yeah. Thanks, Kaan. See you guys.